What's good, everybody? Welcome to the first episode, and you're tapped into the Tap Into Income podcast. You got your hosts, Phill, Ajay, Tony. More so, we guys want to introduce ourselves as Tap Enterprise Ventures, help you guys with your mindset, your health, financial literacy, credit, real estate, tech. We want to talk everything about this stuff and also how we came together, partnered, and made business happen with each other. AJ, Tony, what's good, baby?
What's good, champ?
How's it going? We made it.
We made it.
We made it to episode 1. Somehow we got here.
After a couple
AJ.
months.
Yeah.
After a couple months.
A lot of thoughts, a lot of thinking. Tony's been wanting to be on this podcast for a long time.
For a
He's
long
been in
time.
every car ride. He's like, dude, we need a podcast.
We need a podcast.
The conversation we just had in this car right now, people need to hear this.
They need to hear it.
They do. I mean, I want to talk to, more so the consumers more so, how we met, how we partnered up with each other and, how we all play our roles and got together to make something happen like this.
Yeah,
I think I need to tell this story, right?
Go for it, man.
I'm gonna make it short and real to the point, but honestly, how we even all really got together, and it was a mutual friend of ours between me and AJ, that we was doing some stuff at the office that had to do with insurance.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the basic started with me and AJ of meeting each other. And when we connected at the office and we was, taking the class, doing the insurance, day by day, they would like always ask me, Tony, you go to the gym all the time, man. Why you in the gym? Like, you look good, bro. So I was like, man, we can go. At the time, it was a different gym. And then they opened up EOS.
Yeah.
Close to where everybody was like located at, right? Mm-hmm. So we all get membership here. But the key thing was I told them, because these guys smart, man, and they very intelligent guys. Not taking away nothing from me either, right? But long story short, I said, if you guys teach me how to make this money, I would teach you how to, your health. I would teach you how to go to the gym.
Yep.
I would teach you how to lift weights. I would teach you how to just, because wealth is really your health.
Yeah.
Like, we got our bank accounts and they look good, right?
Big time.
But if we're not taking care of our body and ourselves, it ain't gonna do us no good. So we had to do a trade-off, 90-day trade-off. I'm gonna teach you how to take care of your body. You're gonna teach me how to make this money.
Yep.
So we go to the gym. Now we in the gym working out. Boom, we getting it in. I'm hollering at AJ. AJ, hold your feet straight, man.
I'm like,
you can't squat. You can't squat with your feet open like parallel, straight forward. You feel me?
Facts.
So we was doing that, and one day we ended up in the sauna, and we had a conversation. And not knowing this young guy had his ear perked up, and he was listening to our conversation, and he ended up reaching out to one of our other mutual partners, and they was having a conversation outside of the sauna. Yeah. And it kind of went from there, you know what I mean? So I let AJ tap in, and that's kind of how we got to meet Phill.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But AJ, you kind of take it from there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because, that's the thing that you want to do in your business is, finally, you want to be successful, you want to make money every day, and then you want to work out with the people that are actually helping you make your money.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you want to go and have that competition where you're like, we're going to get in the gym, we're going to be, fit, we're going to invest in ourselves, we're going to look great. Then we're going to stack cash, and then we're going to do the right thing, and our business is just going to flow through this energy. Until 30 days, I stuck with it for 30 days because at the end of the 30 days, I was looking so badass, and I was sitting there and I was just admiring myself in the mirror, and I was like, oh, snap. And I was like, I went to the bar, and then all these girls are up on me, and I'm like, whoa, I don't need any of this right now. I was like,
What the girls say about the chest, AJ?
oh man, they say that you're supposed to pop your chest like they got laser beams and you're trying to shoot it at people. So you're just sitting there walking around with your chest like this.
Yeah.
And that's Tony walks around like that all day long. Tony's got so much swag. and then I saw Phil's in the corner of the sauna, and he's just listening to us talk about money and talk about real estate. And he's like, I gotta see what this guy's up to. So he went up to a mutual partner, and I heard him pitching him, and I was like, all right, I think this kid got something with him,
Yeah.
And then, I dug into Phill a little bit, and I'm like, well,
Right.
Phill, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I got my 63, 65. I'm working with, selling insurance.
Right.
I'm doing this thing.
Right.
I know all these things. I was like,
Right.
damn.
Facts.
And I was like, how old are you, Phill?
Facts.
And I'm like, man, I wish that I knew all that stuff
At his age.
at
right?
his age.
Yeah.
And
It was very impressive.
even just 5 years ago, if I knew some of the things that you knew, it would have
shit.
changed my entire trajectory. But I'm so happy to be here today, meeting Tony. I met Tony 2 years ago, and I was like, who is this guy? I like his energy. I like his vibration. And then it ends up being like the one thing, like, you know, you could have the nicest job in the world. It could pay you a lot of money. You could have an amazing family. You know, you could have all these things, but eventually, you know, as a man, as a guy out here, like you just want people that you can trust
Right.
to the
Absolutely.
right and left
Big
of you.
time.
And then you want people that will like, you know, they'll give you more energy than they take from you. Yeah. And then all of your energy ends up being more and more valuable to like what you're trying to contribute. And I've worked through like Silicon Valley companies. I've been through a bunch of things. We'll talk about our backgrounds in a little bit. But you know, when I saw Phill, what he's doing, and I just saw his energy, and I hung out with him once, and I hung out with his dog Sauce, who's awesome. And I was like,
Oh, boy.
Sauce is so loyal, man. Sauce,
Everywhere,
you
yo.
throw that ball, Sauce comes back
going
with it.
back.
You push her, push him.
That's a
Man,
fact.
what a lit dog. And you can tell somebody, like, you know, Phill and his dog look alike, too, you know? It's the craziest thing. They're both, like, the same
we
swag,
know I got no neck,
you know?
bro.
I just, they're sitting right next to them. I'm like, you know? So I'm like, I like his energy. And, like, you know, that's, for me, this is the true wealth.
Yeah.
You know, having brothers next to you that you trust, that have different skill sets, that want to
Absolutely.
go in the same direction you're going in. So I'm so blessed to be here today. We didn't just make it to podcast one. I think we made something that's going to be special
Yeah.
for a lot of people. Phill, you want to tell a little bit about, like, you know, your background, your story? You're the youngest one. I'm the middle child, and then Tony's the oldest one.
All different age brackets.
different-
Yeah, we got all three age brackets, you know.
Yeah, man. I met these guys at the gym, and I was just hearing what they were doing with their mutual partner. Shot my shot. You know, I'm very business savvy, network savvy. So, you know, like I tell people all the time, you can get a million no's, and it just takes that one yes, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, finding the right partners were huge for me. I was like yearning and praying and pleading for it more so. And I would talk to my mom about this all the time, like, you know, just finding the right partners will like get me over the top. And I think this is it more so because we all have different skill sets. And everybody wants to be the leader and be the thing, and it's not that, because everybody can't be the leader.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta have some followers, but you gotta also have partners too that are you know, skilled in different skill sets. You know what I mean? I'm the financial guy and the credit guy. I understand it. AJ's a tech whiz, AI whiz. Tony's a real estate guy. You know, he does his thing. So, you know, I just you know, got to know them a little bit more and just seeing what they were doing, and now, you know, we're making things happen. But a little bit of background about me. I'm originally from A-Leaf to SWAT. That's what they call it. Grew up most of my life in New York, my adulthood. You know, went to private Catholic school, learned a lot about networking there because of just being around so many different cultures and races. That was a big thing to me. And I always looked at it, I'm like, Mom, like I can just go to public school. And when she was telling me like, oh, like, no, you're gonna go here, this, that, and the third, I understand it now because it really gave me the skill sets of life to how to network. Because a lot of people sometimes in public school don't know how to network, or they're like, they're trained to like just go to school. And I'm not like that. I'm like, yo, I'm the risk taker. I'm gonna roll the dice every time, you know?
Right.
So that was just me. Went to school for accounting, got my degree in accounting. And when I had to learn that, you know, we had to take 4 big exams, I was like, nah, F that, I can't do it. I was just like, nah, after the fact, I was like, nah, F that, I can't do that. I was like, I gotta find something else. But you know what's so funny too? I had a teacher, and I was trying to max out on my credits my last semester because I wasn't going back because I wanted to max and override it. And a lot of times they don't let you override it because it's too much. So I was like, nah, I can handle it. So I took like 22 credits my last semester. That's unheard of. So she saw me. She's like, Phill, aren't you in finance? Are you majoring in finance? Funny enough. And I was like, nah, I'm in accounting. I'm in accounting. And she was like, I can see you doing well as like a finance guy. And then it didn't hit me right there, but years later, how God works, just divine timing. Like I was like, I didn't go to become a CPA, and I, you know, became a financial advisor. Got my Series 7, my 66, and my 63. And I learned a lot about, you know, that business of wealth management and insurance and all that stuff, and how to build like a business plan for people, financial plan for people, and understand, you know, what they have going on and their risk tolerance and their age, time horizon, all of it. So, you know, when I'm helping people out on an everyday basis, you know, I'm trying to make them gain the wealth the most efficient way as possible. Right.
Yep.
There's so many different routes that people can go, and I'm just like, man, investing is easy. Easy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, everybody's telling you do this, telling you do that, and it's just it's easy. But you know, that's how we got here to today. I personal trained for a couple years, running my own business, and then I had an epiphany one morning too. Like, I'm like, yo, I can't do this till I'm 40 years old.
Right.
Like, I be seeing cats doing this till 40 years old, but they not living a life that they want to live because you're pouring energy into people. I mean, some people do got gyms and do a thing, and
Right.
created on an online course. Now we in this digital world, et cetera, et cetera. But I was just like, man, I didn't understand money at that time.
Right.
So I'm just like, I can't do this till I'm 40 years old. Cause I know people that still do it, and they're like, they love it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, bro, I'm trying to be traveling and
one
being
for you.
away for a
Yeah.
week, for a month,
Yes.
for a month,
Yes.
2 months, come back to the United States, do what I
Yes.
gotta do,
Yeah.
and then I bet I'm leaving again. That's the life I want to live. But that's always been my vision. Everybody got a different vision,
Right.
So that's just how my background and stuff like that. I'm young, I'm hungry. I want to help as much people as I can. I connect the dots for a lot of people. So, that's why I feel like God put me on this earth just to have a purpose, even sharing my story with you guys about 4 years ago, almost losing my life due to COVID and being asleep and in a mini coma. I don't talk about it as much because I don't really care to talk about it as much. Right. But, people will be like YOLO, and I'll be like yo, because you only live twice. I got to live twice, and I got to see the effects of how many people I impacted because I woke up to over 800 or to 1,000 messages. What I was telling you the other day,
Absolutely.
and that's just like real shit.
You be surprised.
And I'm seeing it from my own eyes. Like yo, damn, that's crazy. Because if I would have died, I wouldn't have seen that from my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? So it was just really crazy how much people that I impacted and touched in some way or some sort. And it could have been just like, yo, keep doing your thing, bro.
Right. Right.
Yo, some men just want to hear that.
Yeah.
Literally just left the barbershop. Homie was going through it or whatever the case may be. I'm like, yo, bro, don't even worry about that. Your daughter's going to love you for forever, bro. Just let time do his thing and run his course.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ajay, give me your background, man. Because you the tech whiz. The AI whiz.
No, I mean
Too much. You too smart for your own good, like I tell you all the time.
No, this is awesome. No, Phil, like one of the coolest things that I see in people is when they take control of their own story in their life. And eventually, like, that's the hardest thing for people, especially when you want to go big. Phil, you talk about doing a lot of consulting with like athletes and a lot of wealth management. First off, you don't understand the wealth management world and how much money's out there until you go see it.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like,
100%.
So that's where my story is too. Like my parents, like my dad's a PhD. I'm from A-Leaf too. My dad had suits like Bernie Mac. My dad went out, hustling all this oil and gas stuff. Smartest guy in the room, got a PhD. But networking was always difficult for him.
Yeah.
Because he's a smart guy and he just wants to be friendly and he wants to talk to people about interesting things and how pipelines are built and how this thing is there and the nerdy stuff. And that's not what the business people in the company do.
Yeah.
They're the richest people, they're the most well dressed, and they don't know shit about the oil and gas business. Right?
It's real.
And so you're just looking at these people, and I'm the kid, and I'm looking at my dad. I'm like, yeah, you're smarter than everybody, Dad. I know it for a fact. But then what are these other people doing that is actually, getting them all the money in the pockets and the thing,
And living the life that they want.
Yeah, and living the life that they want to live, right? My dad used to take me around the world all the time. So I've been to like Paris and Italy and Tokyo and Japan and traveling in Indonesia. And, you would see different cultures. And what'd be funny is in the other cultures, they wouldn't even care about the business people. They would go straight to my dad because they would actually respect education.
Yeah.
So there's like these two problems that like in America that I'm always going through is like one is you want to be the smartest guy in the room, but you don't want to let people know it because when you're the smartest guy in the room, then everybody asks for help.
Right.
So like I'm glad AI happened. And so let's just go back. It's like I was like, if I can somehow take all the intelligence that I know and share it with people, like I always have this thing like, better call AJ. You better ask AJ about something because I'll look it up. I'll use Google better than you to find you more answers.
That's a fact. That is a
Like
fact.
you can't even use Google yet. And so I mean, like
That'd be me. AJ, what you got?
Tell you everything you need to know with 100 facts.
yeah. And somebody asked me like, how do I do this? And I'm like, I'll Google it silently in the background. And then, then they're like, oh, AJ, do you know how to do this? I'll say, yeah, you just do this and float this and you do this, whatever. And I know how to do it. And I'm like, and I get, and honestly, as a tech guy, like I grew up, my dad being smart and in tech. And then I grew up watching computers and I was like, this is the shit. Yeah. Like Star Trek is going to happen. We're going to have AI. We're going to have computers. And so you got to think about the world differently when you realize that like technology is going to shift and it's going to change. You want to go out there and experience all over the world how it's currently built. And you want to see what is the future going to be. Like the way that we make bread isn't the same 5 years ago. Like everybody has a ninja bread machine right now. You can put in this thing, whatever, boom, the bread comes out. So like, even with money is the same thing as making bread. So everybody's using technology to make money at the end of the day. I worked with, I started off with doing IT, went to small businesses, knocking on the door saying, hey, I'll fix your problem for $100. Whatever it is, I'll fix it. And we did that in high school. Did some, cloning CDs and MP3 downloading in A-Leaf, which is, a very lucrative business in the
away.
time that we were doing it.
Hustle away.
So you're on the corner as and then people are making mixtapes and they're like, hey man, can you take my mixtape and put it on a CD? And I need 50 CDs by like Tuesday. And I'm like, all right, cool, we can do that. That, and then we're going into IT. Man, I worked with wealth management companies, worked with real estate companies, worked with hospitals, worked with clinics. I ended up solving all their fucking problems. And they all became super massively rich. And I was like, okay, cool. If you can do the IT side of that, then you got to figure out the business stuff. So I switched into business, finally graduated college, took 8 years. What a waste of money. I wish that I would have taken all that college money and just invested it in stocks.
Yeah.
You would have done so much better not taking that money, putting it into a college investment fund, which is a pension fund. And your professors are getting paid to sit there and take your money and grow it, and then you're not going to be learning anything. So you have to learn everything on your own.
Yeah, because you're not gonna remember. I told people you're not gonna remember most of the stuff you learned in college at all. Like you probably 2% to 3%, nothing out of it. And so unless you like, I tell people all the time, if you're gonna go to college, go for a profession that is needed, nursing, doctor, lawyer, that you have to have a degree in more so.
Right.
The world has drastically changed big time. And you know what? I had this one person that he worked at a wealth management firm, and he was recruiting me, and he wanted me to go over there, and I was just like, I don't want to, more so because the pay wasn't thing. But he said the realest thing to me ever, and I was like, man, that shit popped the light bulb for my head. He was like, Phil, your parents weren't able to be prepared for the technology advancement from 2010 to 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Because from 2010 to 2020, look at where we at.
Yeah.
Big league.
like from all the years, look at the league, TikTok, Snapchat. So it's crazy.
Honestly, I thought we would probably be past the Jetsons, but I thought we were literally being the Jetsons when I was a kid. At this point.
And we almost are. Like right now, if you can get $2-3 million in your bank account, you can get a Honda Jet. And you can literally get yourself a Honda Jet and you can fly around. Now it's expensive to put the fuel in it, so you better have that cash flow. Yeah. But man, in the human race, that's the other thing. My dad, huge scientist, right? So you go to Italy and you learn how not only Michelangelo was made, but how the first telescopes were made.
Yeah.
I talked to the guy that was in NASA, and he invented the digital CCD, which is part of all the cameras that are sitting here. All this thing happened. I told another guy something crazy. In Ohio, two brothers in 1907 that were making bicycles decided to make a plane. Okay, 1907.
Yeah.
And then 62 years later, we're landing on the frickin' moon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And just last week, we had Boeing launch a rocket. Elon Musk launched a rocket.
Right.
Apple launched AI assistants everywhere. They launched a paper-thin product. So, the technology is always changing, right? And then so the one craziest thing that we don't realize, your parents, my parents, Tony's a parent, we got to change.
Right.
There is no status quo.
So, yeah.
Right.
Nothing that you do today is going to stay the same. And so you have to have a healthy mindset. You have to wake up and invest in yourself. And the real wealth is health.
Absolutely.
The real health is understanding that you can have options in this world and you're not scared about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a fact.
And my wealth management lesson, when I worked at that company, their entire thing that they told their clients was I'm going to tell you that you're okay, and I'm going to tell you how you're going to be okay. We're going to redistribute all the wealth that you made. People make money in so many crazy different ways, and then they don't know what they're doing with it, and they blow it all. So, what are you going to do with your time on this planet?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I can't make any more of. I only got so many days left, and it could be just tomorrow. It could just be the next hour that I got. So, when you got to give it your all, that's why Tony is pulling me into the gym in the morning, because he's like, man, if you have the right energy and you've invested in yourself, you're going to be strong for the rest of your day.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to do for everybody out here too, is share our personal stories. It really doesn't matter to me that I went to Silicon Valley. I worked at all these important companies. I have a line of code on everybody's phone in the world. These are all funny things I tell to myself. But then the next question that I ask myself was AJ, what are you going to do with yourself now? What's next for you? What are you going to build? What are you going to do? And so I'm so my story is that I'm so thankful to have Phill on one side, Tony on the other side. You both have dreams and aspirations, and I love this technology that's coming out here. And I'm like, how can I lay this on thick? How can I make it stick? And it's going to be beautiful when it happens, and it's going to be, it's going to help so many people. I've ran startup accelerators. I worked at all these startup companies, and so I've seen everybody in the world, from smart people to the savvy people to just the rich people, and they're all focused on me, and what can I get out of the situation, all extracting wealth and energy from a situation. And it doesn't have to be like that. So like the most important thing, and the thing that I'm blessed for, is like I got people that give me more energy than they take from me.
Yeah, you got it.
And they inspire you to do the work. They inspire you to get on that mouse and keyboard, or in the gym, or fill out a credit intake form, which should happen. Which we're gonna
stay on your ass.
We're gonna laugh with AJ's credit through his future episodes, and we're gonna fix it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that's my story in a nutshell. A-Leaf, I'm a tech whiz, and I'm hanging out with Tony and Phill, and that's the story.
That's the story.
I'm sticking with it. That's
the story.
Oh, that's really cool, man. I mean, both of you guys' stories are truly amazing. And for me, like Phill said, he has been telling his mom and yearning for partners, for like-minded.
Yeah,
where's my tribe?
That's real shit, though. I'm not even joking. I'm serious.
And honestly, that was definitely my quest. How can I find my tribe? How can I find like-minded people? Because everyone's not like-minded.
Yeah.
I have a weird way of thinking to other people.
Yeah.
Not to myself.
Yeah.
To myself, I'm that motherfucker.
That's how everybody think, though, right?
Yeah,
I'm that dude, but literally, like, not for play.
Yeah.
I put the work in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People just say that, but don't put the work in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Phill, AJ, they don't take the time to read books, to educate themselves through self-improvement. You know what I mean? They don't take the time to go to the gym, to work out on their body. They don't take the time to go and meditate, to clear out their mind, to clear out the things that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And that's where the meditation is so important, because you get a chance to decompress. You know what I mean? Like, let that stuff go. And then you get a chance to start over again. But for me and my story, man, I come from, man, they will always say humble beginner, but I hate to use that word humble, because there is nothing humble about me.
Yeah.
I was just telling AJ the other day, he was like, we're going to be humble. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to be humble. I'm not taking nothing away from myself, bro. Like, when you really understand and look at that definition of what humble really means,
that's a fact, though.
you know what I mean? Then you start saying to yourself,
So you won't say it no
you
more.
don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm more noble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a noble being on this planet. You know what I mean? I hold myself to a higher standard, at the end of the day, with integrity, confidence, and leadership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my thing. And I wanted to network with people and build something very special, because it's not just about the money. Because we're going to get money. We have money. We lost money. We make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it comes and goes.
They make more money in
It's
this
always
world.
circulating. That's money.
It's always circulating. That's just how
always
money
money
goes.
goes.
But it's the team. You know what I mean? It's the camaraderie that you have, that you build, and the synergy. More than anything, we have this synergy amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Even though we in different age brackets, but it's like, I was listening to Phill, he was talking about energy retention. Energy retention. Now, he in the sauna with guys that's 40, 50 years old. And none of these guys knew
about
when
that.
I said this, it was like me, AJ, and Phill was the only one that kind of understood. Like, I looked at it, I say, how old you is again, bro? Because guys, when I bring that up, they really laugh at me when I bring that up.
Yeah,
how important that is for a man to control yourself, to have those habits, to be disciplined. You know what I mean? And I was so impressed just off that one conversation alone when we were talking in the sauna. Yeah. Like, it was done. Then we went to a networking event with you, and you were hosting a networking event.
Facts.
And I'm sitting here like, Phill been in my journal? Like,
Yeah. Facts, right?
This guy was in my journal, because I've been writing this stuff down. You know what I mean? So I knew, like, this is what I have manifested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have manifested each other into our lives at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But to kind of get into my story, my upbringing, I'm from Alabama. Like, you guys are Texas. Both of you are from A-Leaf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I count myself as a New York boy, though.
New York vibe too.
But I'm actually from Mobile, Alabama, born and raised. I love it. And when I would go and visit other places, I didn't, you see on TV, like, they always try to call us country.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys in the country and you this and that. Y'all riding horses and cows on the dirt road.
Always.
Far from that, because we really in the city and really on the water right at the port. So much traffic come throughout the city.
Yeah.
From Florida to Louisiana, even from Georgia. Like, a lot of flow throughout Mobile, which keep us on a certain level, right? I worked hard my whole entire young adult life, whether that was hustling, cutting grass, building homes with my grandfather, doing carpenter work, doing roofing work, washing cars, knocking on doors. Hey, can I cut your grass?
Yeah.
That was my upbringing in the '80s.
Yeah.
That's what I did. That's what I had to do to hustle to get a dollar. You know what I mean? So I understood, what hard work really truly is. You know what I mean? I understood that process. And that later on just helped me throughout my journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So kind of fast forward, right after high school, I graduated. No, I didn't even graduate high school, bro. It's a long story besides that, because I played and I had I was a football player.
You supposed to go D1.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to D1.
Yeah.
I really did.
Me too. It's all good though.
I had I was in the Who's back then.
Yeah.
If anyone know if you that old, you know what Who's is. And I had over 45 different schools that wrote me, wanted me to come play ball for them. And I messed around and tricked off my 11th grade year, killed it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be in that upper echelons, because, from me working hard and coming from that environment that I grew up in, I needed to change my environment. I needed to do something for myself. I did not want to be stuck. I wanted to be somebody.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that guy on the block. I didn't want to be that guy drinking alcohol or dealing with this negativity energy when it comes to a female. You know what I mean? Because I saw so much in my environment growing up that cannot be my story. But I fumbled the rock. I fumbled it. I didn't go to school. Some of my friends ended up going to college and did their thing. Me, out of high school, I had to go work with my grandfather.
Yeah.
And we was building houses. I had the hard hat on. I had the hammer. I had the shovel. I had the little bill go around. Tony the I had that.
Oh man.
And I kid you guys not, the first day I stepped out there on that farm, I wanted to quit so bad, bro. I said, no, this cannot be my life. I did not pray for this. What are we doing, God? No, I want to quit.
Oh, man.
And literally, I would have quit. But I love my grandfather so much. He was my inspiration. He was my mentor.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He was the backbone of our family. You know what I mean? Community guy. Like he was just that powerful. And I looked at him like that. You know what I mean? I didn't want he the only person I never wanted to let down. You know what I mean? So I couldn't quit.
Yeah.
I ended up doing this job. We building houses. We doing our thing. And I had to get away from that, so I moved to Tampa. I had my auntie. She was living in Florida. I was like, hey, can I come stay with you? She was like, this is the only way I'm going to get out. I can't quit, but I probably ended up doing 7 months of that work with my grandfather.
Yeah.
And, learning blueprints, learning how to build houses like sheetrock, the whole 9-yard foundation. You know what I mean? It was very impactful. I didn't think I would ever use it again, honestly. So I moved on to Tampa, lived there for about a year, moved back home, kind of fast forward, ended up leaving Mobile again on a Greyhound bus. I left on a Greyhound bus in 2000.
That's a movie shit.
2001. I left on the Greyhound bus, Phill and Ajay, and I only had a bag with clothes. That's all I had.
That's a movie shit.
And I ended up moving to Houston to come and wash cars. One of my dad, high school friend, had a car wash on the north side. And I think it was like a Hurricane Sandy or something that happened in 2000 where he had a bunch of work. And he needed some guy he could depend on to come work with him. And he made some calls to some people in Mobile. And my name rang. And when he said, because I was praying, I'm cutting grass from my dad at the time, running his lawn service. And I'm like, damn, I got it. Man, what is going on with my life, bro? This is I'm praying, man. I'm praying for opportunity. And this opportunity came for me to come to Texas. Got on a Greyhound bus. Came here with $60. That's all I had, $60. Got off the bus. He ended up giving me my money back that I paid for the ticket. and we went from the bus station that was downtown Houston to the car wash. I was washing cars from Monday to Saturday, sun up, sundown, busting my foot, grinding. And now I'm at, all right, cool. I'm out of Mobile. I see the city. And we used to ride around on 610, and I used to see these big buildings, and like, man, this is the city. It's some money here. They getting it. I see it. Like, opportunity is here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't get stuck watching cars either. You know what I mean? So since I didn't graduate high school, I ended up going back to get my diploma eventually after a little bit after that, in between me going to Tampa. I did get my diploma. And when I was watching cars, you know, back then we would use the yellow pages, like the phone book, to like find jobs or calls, certain like that. Was all the phone number was that in the yellow pages, right? Commercial stuff. So what I did was I used to circle schools and call schools. Like, I need to go get me some type of degree or some type of skill set. And I would call these different schools. I called several schools, and I went there to this one school, and I took a test, and I passed the test, right? Because you got to take a test to get into this, it's like a 2-year associate program that they had at the time. And I wanted to take up business because I was a business type mindset. That's my mindset. You know, from cutting grass and entrepreneurship, like, you're not going to work a 9 to 5. It don't make sense to you. I can go make $200-300 in 3 hours. Why would I sit on your job to make $100 or all day? You tell me go take my lunch and I clock out and
the grass is always growing. You know, it's beautiful, right?
You know what I mean?
I love it, man.
So
I see everybody that works in the lawn care business in Houston, and I'm like, man, these people are lit.
Right.
They just go from house to house to house, and they collect $100 here, $100 here, $100 here, $100 there.
And I was getting paid back then, like congrats, but that's a hard work.
Hard work.
It is.
I've done landscape. I've done landscape and sanitation.
But they getting paid. My dad to this day still getting paid. My dad got all type of cars and houses just off cutting grass. Literally.
Yeah.
That just wasn't my path.
Passion.
But again, I went to this school. I took this test. I ended up passing it, and I'll never forget these two ladies. They were so happy and excited. They came out smiling, and they were just, "Oh, you passed!" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Like, But I understood why they were so happy because they were looking at a young black man trying to do something with his life.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And they was willing to do anything they could to help me get into this school, right? So I never forget this. She said, "We got a problem." I like, "What's that?" "The class that you want to take won't be available until January because we don't have enough students to, start this class up."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? Huh?" And if I don't go to school right now, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 6 months.
Right, yeah.
Like, I gotta figure what are the class you guys have available? What do you guys like? I need to figure out something out. And she was like, "You would take the nursing class?" I was like, "No, I'm from Alabama. You think I can pronounce them words? I can pronounce these words like with my twisted tongue. I'm gonna pronounce these words. You gotta be not being a nurse." And again, kind of like I'm masculine. I don't see myself being a nurse taking. You know what I mean? I'm a masculine energy. I'm an alpha male. That ain't finna happen. And I was like, "What else you got?" She was like, "Network administrator." I was like, "What is that?"
That's
Networking. She was like, "Computers, software, hardware." And I was like, "Yeah, I take that." and honestly, like, it's amazing how your journey in life, everything just like, it's like your destiny already set up for you.
Yeah.
Because really it's doing is setting you up for the future and long term.
Right.
So I ended up taking that class. I graduated. And I made my mom proud because I didn't get a chance to walk in high school, but I walked.
For associate's advice.
You know what I mean? And that was like redemption. Like, I redeemed myself from that experience from high school because people at my graduation, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, looking for me to walk across the stage in high school.
Yep.
And for me to redeem myself, that was a relief. Like, you know what I mean? So fast forward, watched the card, got rid of that, and ended up getting into the music industry. Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was a shift that I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
But I had some cousins that was always rapping, and they had skills. Their mom was a radio DJ in Alabama, and I had the business mindset, and we kind of like linked up. And one of our cousins was a T.I. road manager at the time. He was T.I. road manager. He ended up doing a show in Mobile. We got on stage, had a good time, had a blast. Like, this before, like, I'm like, after that show, we doing this. It was like so exciting. It was like I can see us doing it. I can see us living this world. Like you know what I mean. And we kind of got into that industry and took off. It's like we literally took off just because of the relationship we had with Ti. So it's like we didn't have to go through some of the things that growing pain in the music industry. Like we in the studio with Ti and all these other artists, Snoop Dogg, and
And you just made it. Like, all of a
just
sudden,
made
it's like
it like overnight
week.
success, kind of like
Yeah.
it literally was like that for us.
Yeah.
Got into that,
I
and
remember
I
seeing
learned a
this.
lot in the music industry. Honestly, I learned a whole lot because I was the executive producer, I was the street team, I was doing it all, and that kind of led me to at some point realizing that the music industry is tainted. I can't see me selling my soul for material gain,
Yeah.
and I had to pivot. I had to pivot from the music industry. All the success that we was having great success. I was doing shows. I would bring comedians to Mobile. I was meeting all sorts of people. I was meeting Serena, Venus Williams. I got a story behind that. Actually, real talk, no lie. And I'm always honor myself with this one. I paid for their meal at Forgo de Chow. There's a story behind that. We might get into it one day. But
We gonna eat. At
they at the time they millionaires. I'm not.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a story and segment in my life that happened. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to tell them this in their face if it was ever come up.
Yeah.
You feel me? I have no reason to lie to nobody about
course
these
not.
So
situations.
Venus and Serena
You
owe
know
us
what I
Fogo.
mean? But that ended up happening, and but again, I kind of got out of the music industry and fast forward again, and I needed to find something.
Yeah.
I needed to find my next move. Like, what is it? And I would ask some of my mentors, like, real estate. I always wanted to be an investor. I wanted to invest in real estate. And I was like, hey, if I get my real estate license, you think that'll hurt me being an investor? And they would be like, yeah, don't do it. Don't get your real estate license. And I listened for a minute. I did, because I value their opinion. Then they would tell me, like, because, the rules and regulations, like, you can't do certain things in violation of codes and, what have you. But my spirit was like, man, get your license, bro.
Yeah.
Get your license. And as I gave the music industry back, my life's changing, my finances changing, like my money not the same no more. I got down to my last 20 grand. I think it was 19,000. I got down to my last $19,000. I got a family, house note. Man, it's all, I'm like, 19 grand, no money. I'm used to having money. What's 19 grand? I'm like, I'm broke. I need to flip this. How do I flip this? You know what I mean? And told him, go get your license. I took $1,500 of that $19,000 I had, and I went to Champion School of Real Estate and went and got my license. I went and got my real estate license. Ever since then, I haven't looked back.
Yep.
I haven't looked back since then. I've been in the real estate game ever since then. I've been like over eight years now since that didn't happen. That's kind of a little bit short story of me.
We're basically going into detail.
Now you have more time on this planet, so you're gonna be longer, right? So like, Phil's just
You
like,
saying again, I
I'm
have
here,
more time?
and then I'm retaining energy. That's Phil's life, right there.
But
nah,
yeah, man, it was a very unique process
For sure.
to get into it from there to where we at today. And I'm so grateful because we have so much knowledge amongst us all here in this platform right now that we can always, go back and forth and get ideas from. So
And I got one question for both of you guys more so, and you guys can ask me back too. What was your biggest, pivot of when you like, yo, I got to make this change type ordeal?
I'll let you
Yeah,
go first.
I mean, for me, it's like I always realize like every year is I have to change. Like I know that if I'm gonna be stuck in something, if I'm gonna be doing the same thing year after year, that's not gonna work for me. And so even in college, I was like, these classes, I have a different perspective on college because I'm Indian. So basically, if I'm not going to med school, they're not even going to come to my graduation and give a shit. I'm walking across the stage.
You're not a doctor.
Not a doctor. What the fuck are you going to do? So for me on the other side, and then so it's like, so you got to go big. Like it's the same thing. You want, football isn't in my story because like I'm Indian once again. You know,
Go back to I'm Indian.
you know. And so like so I mean and I knew that I had to learn how other people were doing it.
Right.
And you know, as the IT guy, man, you get everybody's passwords. You get on their computers. You get invited to CEO's office. The CEO calls you. You're walking around all these different companies, going to the CEO's office, and you're like, "What do they do here?" Well, now I know what they do. Now who's responsible for it? Now I know who's getting fired and who's getting hired and who's getting paid and how much they're getting paid. And then you know, you go back to all these different companies, and you're like, "Man, like it must be great to be the boss." But then at the same time, man, there's so much challenges and it's so much stress. And you look at these people and they're fat and they're overweight and they're multi-millionaires. And I'm like, man, like what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
So like for me, like the change is like, you know, every year you have to look at yourself like you improved, like you did something different, like things are going better. And I've had the shifts, I've had terrible years. You know, when I finally left Dallas, I was working there for 8 years. I worked at Alcatel-Lucent. I did this thing. So I was satisfying my bucket list. I worked for all these cool, crazy tech companies, had access to data centers, tier 3 things, had NSA security clearance, all these dumb things that I did, which still wasn't being a doctor or being a lawyer. So I wasn't validated. So I was always on this personal quest of like, what is AJ gonna eventually look like, you know, when he grows up? Like, what does AJ want to be? And it was like, you know, I want to be the CEO of a startup company and have at least $1 billion or $2 billion in the bank account. And then I want to figure out life after that.
Right.
And man, you go out in the world and you realize that, you know, you're a smart person and everybody else also wants to be a billionaire.
It ain't
And
that
they went
easy.
to all these schools.
Yeah.
You know, they all went to Berkeley's and Stanford's and this thing and whatnot, you know. And I mean, like, I get to say cool things like, yeah, your daughter worked at Google, your son worked at Google. But I worked at a company that was worth like $10 million, and then 6 months later, it was worth $50 million. And then another 6 months later, it was worth $200 million. And then Google bought it and it became Google Cloud. So basically, all your kids, they work for me. Now they're using my code.
Right.
So
right,
like,
right.
I don't need to work at
Nice.
Google anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm done.
Right.
And now what I need to do is I need to go create my own company, or I need to work at an accelerator. So I mean, I met all these genius people, and I just realized that like you have to tell your own story at the end of the day, and the way that you sleep at night is going to be huge. I mean, craziest things happen in the music industry. The craziest things happen in Silicon Valley. They're literally right next door to each other. They're both pushing weight
Right.
out there,
Right.
trying to make somebody high off of their product.
Right.
And then everybody's getting excited about it, and then everybody wants to get rich, and then they're blowing their money on this thing. Seen so many nerds buy a Ferrari, wreck it.
Yeah.
You know, like you see so many athletes blow their first
yeah.
year.
Right.
You know,
Oh yeah. After 5 years.
after 5 years, and then they have no money. You know, the smartest ones sit there and they're like, "I'll spend my money 1 week out of the year, and I'll save." So for me, that changing point, like when I went to Silicon Valley and I finally worked for these companies, and I finally realized that you can't just work for somebody else. You have to own your own thing. That's the only way you're going to own your soul, is to be investing in yourself and realize that everything you put out there into the world is going to eventually be yours.
Right.
You're going to have to own up to it. It's going to be in your wallet. You can pull it out.
Right.
And so, I mean, that for me was like my shift. And then I started focusing on investing in people. And I said, like, if I help more people out there run an accelerator program, I'll really get to that point where I can see 100 people succeed.
Right.
And man, it's amazing.
That makes you feel good inside.
Oh man, it's just amazing waking up in the morning and knowing that I don't need to go to the gym because Tony already went to the gym.
He's gonna rub off on me.
He gonna use my muscle. If it works,
If it works.
when he say he got me on the side of Phill, you good. You got your bodyguard.
But yeah, T, what's your bigger, transition?
Man, are you ready for this story? Wow.
Don't make it too long.
I'm not gonna make it too long, man, but I'm gonna get to it. But man, I did a show with Webby
Yeah.
on T-Town. I don't know you guys familiar with T-Town. Used to be on Richmond.
That T-Town Records?
Yeah.
No, it was a club.
Okay.
Off,
Nah.
Richmond and I think Hillcroft maybe.
Listen, we 20 years apart.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
AJ could probably.
I remember knowing that I was never going to be able to go to that club in Houston.
AJ was on his computer with the Mexicans and the lowrider.
Exactly.
But I did this show and I had linked up with another promoter that was helping me do this show. He was helping me perform and get clients and get other artists. But come to find out, he was literally like stealing money. So we got a club packed. We in there, and it's a lot of people performing. Some I don't even know these guys. Like, who used to perform? And then Webby like, all right, time for me to go on, right? So all right, I cleared the stage out. I put Webby on because he was a main act. It's like 1:30. Like people can't see Webby, not
Yeah.
These
all
dudes.
the
All the
other
other people.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like I already didn't know who these guys were, and it dawned on me like, okay, I see what happened, right? So when Webby went on stage perform, it was some guys that did not get a chance to perform. So at the end, and we leave and go home. I remember I'm leaving, and these guys charged me, like 3, 4 guys, like charged me literally, right? They mad, they upset, they want their money back. Man, give them my money. Give them my money. You took my money. I'm like, bro, hey, who you gave your money to? You ain't give me no money. We didn't perform and this and that. It's drum. It's going down, and I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I see this because I'm from the streets. Like
Yeah.
we know what time it is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm prepared. Right? And it's about to go down. I can see it happening. And I got my wife with me because she was at the door, like collecting money. She was helping me. And I'm like, hey, babe, go to the car. Let me handle something right quick. She won't leave. She will not leave. Nah, I'm not going home. I'm like, go to the car. And it was probably be, I'm finna shoot them,
They're gonna
go to
shoot you.
jail, or they finna shoot me. It's about to get to that level, right? And I'm like, all right, she's not gonna leave. Hey, God, and they see me having an interaction with her too. And I say, man, I'm gonna walk up to the car and I'll be back. So as I'm walking to the car, and I'm thinking, like, man, I'm finna go pop. You feel me? In my mind. Then it like I had a sense like, bro, go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in the car and go, bro. You know what I mean? So and you know that's ego and pride as a man.
man.
Like, I ain't
You
running
getting
from nobody.
tested?
But I was tested at that point, right?
Yeah.
And I had ended up getting in the car and we left. We left, and that's when because I was changing anyway. I had become too tired that time. I'm wearing too tight, button up shirt. I'm really not in that environment. I realized that I'm the light, and I'm bringing darkness to me.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
I'm bringing darkness to me.
Yeah.
I'm bringing God that's on alcohol, pills, drugs. Anything can go wrong. And I'm not even in that space no more mentally.
Yeah.
I'm really like shifting. You know what I mean? That was the last time I did a show. Was at that Webby show, and I realized that I got to do something else.
Wasn't resonating with your soul no
It
more
wasn't
after
resonating
that.
with me no more, bro. And
Yeah,
I pivoted.
that's
Yeah.
that's that nightlife. Because I did it too. I did party promoting in New York, and you definitely see some things or things is gonna get out of hand. So like, I know. You know, I've been around all the block with different businesses. I did it. I had artists perform too, so I already know how it go. Obviously, back then it's totally different because, you know, things ain't on social media and stuff like that or whatever. But also, mind frame was a little bit different too as well. Like,
I mean, people used to get shot up a lot in A-Leaf, like
A-Leaf-
and all
A-Leaf
that
was-
entire area was like
it was
dangerous, you
A-Leaf
know.
was dangerous for sure.
And I've been
And,
in several shootouts myself, right? and I'm so grateful that I'm here today.
Yeah.
Because there have been times where I probably could have been two places that
Yeah.
a black man gonna end up going, so-called black man. I don't like to call myself black, but that's how we identify in this modern day.
African American.
As
Okay,
being, I ain't African American.
Yeah.
We're not even that either.
We just people.
You know what I mean?
We just people on this planet.
Melanated beings.
Yeah. We
You
manifested.
know what I mean? Moors.
Practicing,
If you really want to get there,
practicing
you feel
energy
me?
retention.
You really
Yeah.
want to get there, but you know, and just so grateful, guys, that I'm here.
Yeah.
Because I could have been in some other
No,
places.
for sure, for sure.
How about you, Phil? What was your pivot?
My biggest pivot, my biggest pivot in life was you know, having to deal with my dad have stage 4 liver cancer out the blue.
Oh wow.
That gave me a gut punch to the thing like, yo, anything can happen in life. You know what I mean? And that's why I kind of live life to the fullest. So when I got out of the little coma with COVID, and it's crazy, God is, it's
know.
crazy, bro,
I
divine
know.
timing. Because I'm in the hospital bed, and I'm seeing my dad in the hospital bed. So this is just like, me just reimagining what was going on with him, and I'm in the hospital bed now. Like, well, that's 2013. We pushed 2020, 7 years later, on some just craziness, just due to, you know, this virus being out or whatever the case may be is. But having to see him go through that or whatever, and the doctor saying 2 to 4 months to live or whatever, but it was less than that. But then also seeing them pull the cords, like
Yeah.
I like a lot of people don't see their parents die in
Nah,
front of them. I see my like pops die in front of me, like pull the cords, like unresponsive. So I was already always mature, like as you guys can see now, like me being
Facts.
way younger than you guys, but I was always mature as a
Yeah.
kid. Like I was always rolling like with my cousins and my brother and stuff like that, and in teenage environments and stuff like that as a kid. But man, that was a gut punch to my stomach, because you always think your parents are gonna be here for forever.
Right.
And I remember I can't remember who told me this or whatever, but those you're always gonna have those battles with your parents that you're smarter than them, or this, that, and the third, or
It's a
why
generational
you think
thing,
like that, or whatever the case may be is. But man, I tell people all the time, man, like forgive your parents and love them for who they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't,
That's my
because
pet
it's a repetitive cycle, because
Yeah.
they went through the same thing that that you going through with your parents,
Absolutely.
because your grandparents not gonna treat
They
they
didn't know
grand
back
they
then,
grandkids.
especially in our culture.
Yeah, they
Think about it. We come through civil rights and all that,
stuff.
even
Yeah.
before that.
But it took me a while. Oh, actually, one of my good uncles told me that, like, he was like, man, you gotta just forgive your mom and just take for everything. My mom never did anything to me, but I'm saying, but like, I always wanted to understand why she was like that. But I gotta also understand, like, my grandmother and my grandfather, and then their grandmother and their grandfather, and it's a repetitive cycle. So who's gonna break the cycle
Yeah, who gonna break
of
that curse, man? Who gonna break
Yeah,
that?
the generational curse and generational
trauma?
cycle is
You
really
know what I mean?
important to
Absolutely.
figure out.
It's big. It's big. You know what I
That's
mean?
part of the community being able to heal.
And that's why I tell people. I tell all these young men out here, even young women too as well. Like, choose the right partner. Don't just be, like how we talk about energy retention. Like that shit.
imperative.
That shit is huge. Like huge. My two biggest fears is having the kid with the wrong person, and then also being poor.
You're not gonna have that fear.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have that fear.
Yeah.
You should eliminate that.
Yeah.
Because you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know, Phil. Who you gonna pick as
You
your
already a
wife.
selector, man.
Yeah.
Like you already see
No,
it. You see the signs.
Yeah.
You know what to look for. Oh, nah, she ain't it. Nah,
Yeah.
she ain't. Then on top of that, you're going to attract that energy to you.
That you're supposed to have.
You feel
Just
me?
like God, Devon Thomas.
Right.
Divine
Exactly.
timing. It's the same thing with me and my wife. Like I had options, of course, but it was divine. Like the way I met my wife, it was all
Natural,
divine.
organic.
It was just so organic, and it's crazy because my wife is half Colombian and El Salvador, so she's different culture
Yeah.
from where I'm from what I'm accustomed to.
Especially
You
from
know what
Mobile,
I mean?
Alabama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. And I seen so much pain and trauma in my culture. And not saying that I just went out looking for that, but that was divine what the Creator brought to me.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful, man, because we have some amazing kids, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like truly amazing. I got 2 kids in college. I ain't had to pay a dime for neither one of them. My oldest daughter, this is gonna be her 4th year. U of H,
Genius.
scholarship, academic.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, you know?
My son, like scholarship, sports. He's smart too,
Yeah.
but he got a scholarship in sports. And then my baby girl, AJ can tell you about it. Like, she's just a little genius herself.
Yeah.
In her mind, I'm not going to college. That cool. You ain't got no
Do what you
problem.
got. Do what you got to do as long as you got a plan.
Like, you good. I got you.
Yeah.
Like, because I know I've already been implementing stuff in her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same way I was doing it with my other 2 kids. I was giving them the game way before ahead of time. They can even comprehend what dad was doing.
And that's what's needed.
And you can tell, you can just tell by looking at her that she's got an incredible head on her, and she's thinking, and she's open, she's aware.
Right.
I see other people's kids, and they're just like zombies, and they're like, "What do you do? Like, you need to like
on the
do
iPad
something
all
with
day
your
and
kid."
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that comes from parents,
You know?
And you made it clear that you wanted to instill that into them.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Because, again, my upbringing.
Ringing?
Yeah,
I needed to break these ties.
Yeah.
Because I didn't appreciate how I was coming up and how I was raised.
Yep.
I was the black sheep
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I see like what my parents didn't see, what my grandparents didn't see. But I also knew what I wanted for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would pray for these things. This is what I want for me. This is what my life is gonna look like. And hey, I manifested it again.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
And that's like, an important lesson for everybody to learn. Like, you got to teach it to your kids too. And it's like, you can't just dream stuff. You have to actually, if you do have a dream, you have to write it down. But there's so many steps to get to that dream. You can't just say that I'm going to be playing in the NFL. You got to put the time into the gym and all this stuff like that.
Yeah,
And then you got to realize that, like, I mean, like when I'm in the gym with Tony, I like pretend I'm like, man, I'm like training for the NFL right now. Look at me, and I'm about to go back home, and I pull up my Xbox controller. I'm like, yeah, let me watch this shit right here. Sitting there with Madden, I'm like, oh, long bomb, Hail Mary, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm in the end zone now.
He lit though, he lit, baby.
And it makes me laugh, and it's so funny because like my parents will see me, and I'll like take my shirt off, and I'll be looking at myself in the mirror, and I'll just start laughing. They're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I just think it's funny that I'm this smart and I look this goddamn good. Like, damn, it's gravy, and it's a blessing. You know what I mean?
Confident booster. It's a confident booster.
And if you walk out in the world with that energy first, it's like it's a blessing to have the adversity, and it's a blessing to learn the lessons, and it's a blessing to share the adversity and share the lesson with other people. Then you're gonna have yourself like. First, you forgive yourself. Second, you're able to invest in yourself without having yesterday's
That's the most
mistakes
important
pull you
thing.
back.
I don't want you to kind of go back to that. You said something. That's very important for most people, and most people don't get. You have to do what? Forgive yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something that we don't do.
Yeah.
We don't know how to forgive us. You know what I mean? Like, we be so tough on ourselves. Oh, you stupid. You made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
You dumb mother. No, man. Come on, bro.
Tiger Woods do that. That was when Tiger Woods lost his entire thing. I heard him on the golf course, and he like shanked the ball, and he goes, Tiger Woods, you suck. And I was like, come on, bro. I was like, you're a professional. You're a Masters. You won the green jacket. Don't talk to yourself like that.
Yeah, that tongue powerful. Bro.
And I realized, I was like, you Tiger Woods, you talk to yourself like that. I was like, don't talk to yourself like that. And don't let other people talk to you like that. And then get out of that room. Mm-hmm. You in the wrong energy if people talk to you like that. Now, that's my parents. That's what they do.
100%.
I got this
but
pet peeve.
I forgive them, forgive myself.
Yeah, you have to, man. You can't let people talk to you crazy, even with your woman. And that's another thing in picking the right woman, how she speaks.
Speak to you.
Right.
That's a big thing.
You. Yeah. Like, do she empower you?
Yeah.
Or does she take away? Because she's way more powerful than we are.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? So whoever that girl if you make
We straight on my end. My end. But man, I'm glad we got to shoot this first official episode. My guy Tony and AJ for sure. Tony, give them your @ name or where they can follow you at, and AJ, you do the same, and let's close it out.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a Tap Into Income is gonna be our podcast handle. You're gonna find us on Facebook, social media, obviously YouTube is gonna be where our episodes are, and we'll also be releasing on Apple Podcasts as well, so you guys can listen in. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys join with us on our journey. We're gonna share more and more about how we're investing in our health, our mindset, our wealth, what we're doing on a daily basis, personal stories, and try to motivate you and then give you some options, some things that we're looking at that everybody can participate in, because we want to have a really big team.
Yeah. We want to make you guys money.
I want a really big team, and I want that entire energy in that room when we all walk in tall. We all got our shit together. Yeah. That we just got 100 hustlers.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. It's like we've done the work. Mm-hmm. We've actually put the work in, and we know it works. You know what I mean? I know what I'm going to be bringing to the table. It worked because I'm doing it, and it works for me.
Yeah.
Same with AJ and Phill. The things that they do and have done, it works for them. So we just really want to help you, because by us helping you, we help ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something that I have, and I tell these two guys, it's by having integrity, right? And integrity is doing the right thing even when someone is not looking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And another thing, I'm going to leave with this one, is if I take from you, I'm only going to take it away from myself. I'm not in the game.
You going to feel it?
I'm not in the game to take away from myself, bro. I love me too much.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. So, you guys can follow us on all social medias, all platforms, like AJ said. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends. This story may resonate with you. One of our stories may resonate with you, to help you out, possibly getting out of a dark time, or, to get you to that next level, right? Like, we're just here to help and motivate others more so. This isn't really for us. This is for you guys. We're gonna build a platform that's powerful to help you guys build your wealth, change your mindset, understand the real estate game, understand financial literacy, credit, all that stuff. This is just the beginning. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully we see you guys next time. Peace.
Absolutely.
Bye.